Hello and welcome back to another one of the video features for the Immersive Worlds Handbook. Today I'm focusing a little bit on the research break chapter, and I'm giving you one exercise that I think is pretty innovative and unique, and is an example of something that can be used to stimulate design teams and stimulate the growth of new ideas when you're thinking about a project, whether at the conceptualization stage or more the execution stage. So what I'm featuring here are the method cards from IDEO, the famous design firm, and I received these over about a year ago, I guess. They are published by William Stout Architectural Books, which is one of the top architectural bookstores in the country, so you can order them online. They're a little bit spendy, maybe 40, 50 bucks, but you get a really nice quality product, and I'll show you a little bit about what's inside this box. So the box features these cards, and what's cool is these cards were actually inspired by some of the very design practices that the teams at IDEO have been involved in, and you can actually see some of those pictured here where they are getting involved here in doing, in this case, reading on the back of the card, it's paper prototyping. This is a rapidly sketching layout and evaluation interaction exercise. And what's cool about this is you have these cards, over 50 or so, and they are organized into 4 different areas here, as you can see. And the 4 areas are learn, luck, ask, and try. So in the case of this one I just showed you on paper prototyping, that falls into the try category. And what's also neat is, so you have that 4 types of cards that are included, and then you have a discussion of how, and then also a why. And so in the case of this paper prototyping, the how is rapidly sketch, layout, and evaluate interaction design concepts for basic usability. The why, this is a good way to quickly organize, articulate, and visualize interaction design concepts. So what is really, I think, unique about these cards is that any design team or an individual like myself, you could take some of these cards, you could mix them up. If you wanted to, you could do kind of a random assigning of these cards to different folks in your design team, and you could see it covers just about everything here. You have activity analysis, anthropometric analysis, and affinity diagrams in these 3. And the front of each card has these neat pictures, and a lot of these pictures then are actually examples of things they've tried and used. This is a behavioral archaeology that talks about how people use a particular space or use artifacts or material culture, something as an anthropologist I could really relate to. Another one of these falling under the try category is behavior sampling. Give people a paper or a pager or phone, so probably not a pager today. You could think of a smartphone, and ask them to record and evaluate the situation they're in when it rings. And this is considered a useful way to discover how products and services get integrated into people's routines in unanticipated ways. What I think is really neat about the IDEO cards is the fact that they've thought about different levels of design, not just the level of conceptualization and material culture or producing design. And we could be talking about everything from a chair here to some sort of object of technology that is used in an interactive sense, or in the case of the Immersive Worlds Handbook, we could be talking about an actual space that could be like an architectural space, such as a restaurant, a themed museum, or whatever. And so these cards, I think, and certainly don't have the time to go through all these cards really relate to techniques and ideas and brainstorming methods that parallel, say, the work that's being done in Disney Imagineering, where they talk about blue sky concept and so forth. This is one I think is quite important, and I mentioned some of this in the Immersive Worlds chapter on research breaks. And this is collage. And this is building a collage of images and looking at the arrangements and how you chose the images and asking the participants to justify this. That's not unlike a mood board, which I discuss and feature in the research break chapter. So you have all these cards, role-playing scenarios, scenario testing. You can utilize all these in any way that you like. And then, in addition to this, you have a little guidebook here. And this takes you through the idea behind the cards, how they've used them in their firm, and then also they list in the 4 categories, the learn, luck, ask, and try, each of the different activities that can be used. So if you wanted to, you could divide these into those, and for one of your days, if you're doing work among your firm, you could just emphasize the try ones. Another day you could try the ask ones, the luck ones, the learn ones, or as I mentioned earlier, you could mix all these up. And as an educator or someone who teaches cultural anthropology, I find activities like these to be really useful in any kind of team setting, whether it's doing a consulting project with a firm, whether it's teaching a cultural anthropology class, or whether I am visiting and working with designers and trying to get them to see some of the cultural issues that might impact their design. So thinking about these kind of cards and any others, any other types of tools that you could use among your team certainly may inspire new ideas in design, may get your design team to think outside the box towards that blue sky concept that Walt Disney Imagineering always focuses on, and also I think just inspires new creative forms. And one of the things we can learn by looking at immersive worlds is that we should really focus on the methods, the research, as I talk about in the research break chapter, that can get us to better spaces, to more exciting spaces, and to spaces that guests will truly enjoy and love and accept as an intimate part of their lives. So check these cards out, order from William Stout if you like, and get onto some of the social media sites for the book and share some of your ideas, and let's see if we can have some dialogue and discussion about other methods of designing effective immersive spaces.